We're smooth 98.1 FM. Good morning and welcome to the locker room. It is the Friday edition, and Tega is right here for us this morning to get us acquainted with what the weekend is going to look like. Good morning, Tega.
Good morning. Yes, it's what the weekend looks like, but my goodness, last night was already perfect, especially if you're a Dallas Mavericks fan. So what happened last night? So let me just touch on the small gossip before I start
Mhm.
asking you how to join in. That's how you know how it is. The Timberwolves had won one game after going down 3-0, and as usual, Anthony Edwards and his bragging. My goodness. So was talking about, I told them we're going to be around for game 6, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. They're all feeling very funky, like we are back now after one game, one.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they lost 3 straight. So last night, they were at home. The Timberwolves were at home. So Dallas Mavericks were on the road. I kid you not. From jump off, Dallas Mavericks literally jumped all over the Timberwolves. It was not pretty. Before the first quarter was over, they were already in double digits. By halftime, they were leading by 29 points, almost 30 points. Like this beatdown was live, it was televised. They beat down their hopes, beat down their dreams, beat down their ambition, and beat Anthony
Aspiration.
Edwards. I'm telling you, beat Anthony Edwards into humility. It was the way Luka Doncic just went off from the start of the game. He finished the game with 36 points, and then as usual, Kyrie Irving came in the second half, and then he only plays. I always say this: Kyrie Irving only plays one half of the basketball game. It's either he's playing the first 2 quarters or he's playing the last 2 quarters. Most in general, the last 2 quarters, dropping 17 points in one quarter. He they dusted the Minnesota Timberwolves. If they had any hope left, if they had any dreams, it was killed last night. It wasn't. They beat them not just for this season, but it beat them for generations to come. Like that kind of beating, you cannot forget when you're down by 29 points in one quarter. It was bad enough. It was not just the number of points they were down by. It was the way they were playing. Minnesota Timberwolves came back in third quarter looking like, okay, we're going to try to make this a competition. They would struggle, get to the basket, make a bucket. And then on the other end, Luka Doncic should just toss the ball high up, and the rookie Lively will just dunk on somebody. Over and over again, it was like rinse and repeat. It was not a good night. And so I think at the end of last night, Anthony Edwards realized that he's nothing like Michael Jordan. Forget all the hype in the media. He's nothing like Michael Jordan. All right. So, but that was a great intro into what this weekend will be. But before we go any further into the locker room, Omar, tell us, how can we be a part of the locker room this morning?
To be part of the locker room this morning, you would have to send us a WhatsApp message on to 0809 444 0981 will be where we look forward to reading the messages. 0809 444 0981. Now, it can get exciting, even just more thrills for you to go over to youtube.com/smooth 981 FM Lagos. Subscribe and catch a glimpse and do a repeat of all of the locker room this morning and see how it goes. There you have it, Tega.
All right. So let's run through the headlines and then we'll get to the stories one after the other.
On the bill this morning, day 4 wrap-up, Shontek survives Osaka Classic as Alcaraz moves at rain-lashed Roland Garros as Usyk versus Fury rematch set for December. Saudi official seem to be confirming it for us. And then in Cameroon, Eto'o apologizes to Cameroon coach Bryce as Real Madrid seeking to establish new Champions League dynasty. And then there will be Piqué under investigation in Spain corruption case as Bayern already feels like home. Company is the one speaking from Burnley as it moves over. And then UEFA Europa Conference League Live, Olympiacos 1-0 Fiorentina, report and reaction as there will be Barcelona appoint Flick as new coach.
So those are the headlines. Let's start with what is happening at the French Open. In fact, I'm beginning to feel that I am at the French Open because as it's raining here,
Mm.
that's how it's raining there.
So defending champion Iga Swiatek escaped from match point down against Naomi Osaka to reach the third round at Roland Garros on Wednesday, while Alcaraz overcame a scare of his own as persistent rain caused widespread disruption to the tournament.
I would say this: Carlos Alcaraz doesn't look great. He's not one of my favorites to win the tournament, and it's not just the forearm injury. The forearm injury is affecting everything, the way he thinks, the way he approaches the game. So Carlos Alcaraz, will be bold, will be taking audacious shots. Um, but he's been very conservative. Well, let me not say very, largely conservative at the French Open. And it's understandable, when you're carrying such an injury, you don't want to harm it. At the same time, you don't want people to see that you are struggling. Because once it goes around the that the locker room that this guy is struggling, everybody is going to come for you, and it's not going to be pretty.
We put all
So
ourselves on that risk.
exactly. so so that's what it is. But yeah, he did manage to come through that. However, like I said, he's not my favorite for this tournament because that that arm injury is causing him to rethink and second guess himself, and mentally is the first level of how you win a tennis match before you even start talking about your athleticism or your tactics. And so if he's struggling mentally already, then that puts him in I would say in second position when you think about all the other people he's competing against, like the Novak Djokovic, who has breezed through his first two rounds so far, and then Yannick Sinner, who has, even if he's struggling with an injury, has a focus, an eagle eye focus on the target of winning the trophy. So compared to the other people he's contending against, he doesn't look so great. But on the women's side, my goodness, that is where all the battle is happening. Elena Rybakina has had a smooth run so far. Arina Sabalenka also yesterday, an equally smooth run so far. But Naomi Osaka and Iga Swiatek, my goodness. Let me tell you, after they played that match, Naomi Osaka cried. Iga Swiatek cried. People in the crowd cried. You can imagine that the winner and the loser in one match cried. It was such an emotionally draining one, even for us watching. And there was, look, first set, it was competitive, it was brilliant. Iga Swiatek broke first, and Osaka broke her back. And we're seeing a different Naomi Osaka, like the Naomi Osaka of before she went on that maternity leave. But second set, it was the way she took out Iga Swiatek. Iga Swiatek looked like an amateur. She lost the set 6-1, and it wasn't down to her mistakes. She was still playing brilliant tennis. Naomi Osaka was just returning everything back with an extra oomph. And so when they got to the third set, when a new set starts, everybody resets, and it's a fresh, clean slate. Not for Naomi Osaka, she didn't get that memo. She continued from where she stopped in the second set. She broke Iga in the third set, and she looked like she was going on to win. Iga was down 4-1 in that set. In fact, Iga was down 5-2 in that set. Yeah. And then she was down 5-3 and 2 points down. I don't know anybody and their native doctor that saw Iga Swiatek winning that match. I don't know anybody. But when it was that from that 30, it was that from that 15 love first that she started getting aggressive. And again, you have to understand that Naomi Osaka also had that pressure on her. Because remember, she's about to beat the world number one on clay court, and this is the best player statistically on clay courts in the current WTA ranking. So mentally, it would take you an extra level of focus to beat her. And that's where I think Naomi Osaka blinked a little bit, and Iga was like, I see that blink. And she took advantage of it because it was the way Iga roared back to win that, then to go on to win the next set. It was a battle every single point. I was like, this is deserving of a final. By the time she was done, I kid you not, I had literal goosebumps. Because right now, I'm afraid of Iga Swiatek. In fact, if I see her coming from the left, I will run to the right because it takes a spine of steel for you to come back in that match and then win it. But it was a great one for Egan. And today is her birthday, so happy birthday. She gave herself an early birthday present.
And for me, I just look at it from the lesson I take is some of the most remarkable games you would play are not those you win from how the game ended.
Yes. There's some games you played that brilliantly because I don't see there was nothing that Naomi Osaka did not do to win that match. She didn't put a foot wrong. She had the attitude, she had the confidence, she had the movement. Iga Swiatek, like, whatever you bring to this table, I'm atop it. Whatever you drop, that's what she was saying. Do whatever you're going to do. I'll raise it by 1,000. And again, is that kind of mentality that will. So the rest of the tour, where I'm sure they were happy when they saw Iga Swiatek being beaten. Then when she came back, now they are doubly afraid because that already gives her a psychological advantage when she steps up against the next person.
Tega, honestly, if we have all of that, I would let you just keep on I mean, the sparks coming from the analysis this morning is something I could just let you go on, but Saudi Arabia beckons and you know they've got the money. So let's go on to Usyk at this point. Usyk, undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury are set to meet in a rematch on the 21st of December this year, according to the chairman of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority.
All right, so this is from the organizers now. I've not heard from the fighters. We don't know how Usyk has recovered. We don't know if Tyson Fury is still suffering from PTSD. You know, we can't. But the Saudi organizers have probably spoken to both management teams, who are looking at the business end because ultimately, at the end of the day, both warriors are just fighting, are just gladiators. The people that are cashing out are different. And the people that are cashing out will always look for angles to cash out. The media, like me, would obviously look for a story and a content to share. And so, based off of this, is the organizers that have come out to say, you know what, we've spoken to the management team and this rematch is going to happen on the 21st of December. So now I'm just going to wait to hear what Tyson Fury will say. Because like Anthony Edwards last night, Tyson Fury was humbled in that ring. You know, when he finished the fight, he was still trying to say, oh, I won the fight. But after he took a shower, you know, there's a kind of reality that hits you when cold water touches your head. When he came to the press conference, he had a Christian-like humility that I've not seen before. You know, the kind of one that Jonah probably had when he came out of the belly of the fish. Something along those lines. So that kind of reality check, I want to hear from him. If this fight is really going to happen, you know, because Usyk may say, okay, I'm back from the hospital now, 100%, let me get back into the ring. And Usyk has been to war. I'm very skeptical about people that have been to war because you don't know what is driving them. I don't know why people are getting into a ring with someone that's been to war. But on his side, psychologically, I think he's all right. But I want to hear from Tyson Fury how he's dealing. How maybe he went for therapy because that was a beat down. That was not the kind of thing that you can come back quickly from. So the organizers have said 21st December. Let me hear what Tyson Fury says.
No, you make it sound like, I mean, the fight happened just more weeks ago now. You're saying it needs this length of time to recover. Was that beating that bad?
Calm down. It's not physical beating. You see, when they beat him, when they beat him, Anthony Joshua fans were now saying, he should get in the ring with Anthony Joshua. You remember, Anthony Joshua fans were a bit afraid of Tyson Fury for a while. They're like, he shouldn't do it. It's suicidal. Then he was beaten by Usyk, and all of a sudden, everybody and their, pets now thinks that they can beat him. So trust me, when you lose a fight in that manner, it's not just the physical you're trying to recover from. There's a lot of things you're trying to recover from. You are trying to recover psychologically, but what it is that the other people have seen that you are vulnerable. And so everybody is now coming. That's what happens. Remember when that bully in secondary school was beaten? Then everybody that was afraid of him now started to test him. That's what has happened to Tyson Fury. So yes, he needs a long time to recover. He needs a long time. And on that note, we also needed some time to recover. So let's go on that quick break. When we come back, we'll be taking your messages and be sharing more stories.
And yes, you are listening to Smooth 98.1. Give me love, show some love. Smooth.
Adult contemporary radio station. All right, Tega, your mic is live here. So what's I see a few messages coming in. already.
Okay, so I think we should when we come back, we should come back with those messages and then we go to the Real Madrid story.
Okay.
Daddy, I never want food. I want more.
You see, all your food with correct vegetables. Come sitting down with no guilt. But that will get delicious taste. Today, chop better. To one love quality healthcare. Entities such a card. That's the key to access affordable wellness. You need the key. Entities such a card. Laboratory, you are covered. Emergency, you are covered. Access Pascal, you are covered. Healthcare, you are covered. Year 2009. You can access 100K healthcare in South Pascal. From consultations to treatment with leaders. Possibilities are high. And you too can enjoy. Answer Pascal. Your pass to affordable healthcare. Visit the nearest neighborhood store or vendor closest to grab one today. For more inquiries, log on to axamansad.com/AXA Pass. Terms and conditions apply.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey, and when you add plenty of vegetables like a ugu, your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of no cubes. Today, eat for good.
Hi, Lagos. My name is Buchi Franklin, and you're listening to Smooth Breakfast.
We're smooth 98.1 FM. It's still the locker room, and Tega still keeping us warm with the brilliance and the sparks of the sports this morning. And Tega, we've got messages waiting already for your
All
attention.
right, let's take some of those messages. Let's take those messages.
All right, let's go over to Tunji from Surulere left us a message here saying, Happy Friday to you and the team. This is to say thank you for the NBA Western Conference Finals update. I really appreciate, even though I watched the match live, but always like to listen to your programs. That's flowers at your doorstep this morning. Pick that up, Tega. That's for you. I have strong feelings that Anthony Edwards' time will definitely come. NBA have shown over the years that it is a patience and staying focused competition. I wish you all a great and pleasant weekend. God bless. That's from Tunji from Surulere. And Mohammed is up next here saying, Alhamdulillah. Well, I have not been disappointed that my prayers have been answered. We have a Celtic Maverick final. Kyrie and Don have just trampled the noise, trash talking termite. That's how Mohammed leaves the message there for you.
That's what he calls Anthony Edwards. Please, let's not call him termite. But yeah, he tends to brag a lot.
Yeah.
His time, according to, like Sunji said, his time will certainly come. For my goodness, for someone who has not done much, he talks a little too much.
Okay, so then we've got on the YouTube platform, we've got Padre Pio's message waiting. Fury going for a rematch. Seems like first beating wasn't enough. As for company, feel at home till you are sacked in January. And then it goes on. I agree with you. It says, I agree with you, Omas. Tega's analysis has given me goosebumps here. And then Abiodun Obishason says, Usyk is a bulldog of a champ. Both AJ and Fury should just accept that he is no-go area. Man is mentally sharp and indomitable. It's Usyk era. That's how we see the messages here. So shall we go on now?
Yes, let's go on to what is happening tomorrow night, because my goodness, that is it.
Wembley. So Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League final in Wembley Stadium on Saturday, with Carlo Ancelotti's side seeking to add another chapter to the club's already astonishing love affair with European soccer's elite trophy.
All right. Yes. I know a lot of people, when they see that Borussia Dortmund is squaring up against Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League final, they're like, this is just one student trying to compete with an SS3 student. It doesn't look like a fair fight, does it? But it's a final, and if And
It's not.
if you disregard, yeah, no, but if it's a final and if you disregard anybody, you do so at your own risk. And you know, the higher you are, the harder you fall. So it'd be a foolery of either Carlo Ancelotti or any of his players to assume that just because they've been here, done it, that they're just going to come waltz into this place and dance out with the trophy without any fight. I would say this for Borussia Dortmund. I don't know many people that expected them to get to this finals. But they've done it through grit and through teamwork. And it is that teamwork, that unity that gives them the strength that they have. When they squared up against PSG, I knew that despite the fact that PSG had some talents, around, just scattered around the place, that talent will not be enough to break the unity and the team spirit of Borussia Dortmund. And that's what happened. And against Real Madrid, I think that's what their strength is, and they're going to use against Real Madrid. Because if you look at Real Madrid, they have a plethora of stars. From the goal to the forwards, the players that can make the difference. If even Rudiger can be a match winner, a Champions League match winner, and he's a defender, but that's how lethal the Real Madrid team is. As also they are brilliant team to beat, but if Dortmund play as a team, then I think they can give Real Madrid a run for their money. It's going to be a tough one because again, Real Madrid doesn't really. You say Real Madrid has a particular style of play. They don't really have a particular style of play as much as they have an ideology, and so when they approach a game, they can come in with different styles, different approaches. One day it'd be let's go through the wings and Vinicius will be the man that will be the main man we're sending the ball to. Or they can decide let's go through the middle and Jude Bellingham will be the main man they're going through. Or they can decide, you know what, we're just going to leave the 80-yard box for those other people and we'll be taking long range shots. In which case, it could be Toni Kroos, it could be Luka Modric, it could be Tchouaméni, it could be Valverde, it could be. So that's the thing. You cannot say that based on Real Madrid's approach, this is the man we are going to lock down. Because even if you lock down Rodrigo and Vinicius Jr., there's too many people that will take up the ball. So it's a tough one to analyze the Real Madrid side. But what I would say about Borussia Dortmund is that they shouldn't be taken for granted, and their team spirit is great. They have forwards that are fast and can take advantage of the spaces that could be left by either one of Carvajal or Monday going up front. So it's going to be a very tricky tie. And I think the first few minutes should be approached tactically as any final would be. Don't take advantage of Borussia Dortmund, but I still think ultimately Real Madrid just has that extra edge to get another Champions League trophy. Just that extra edge. But let's know, what are your thoughts? Borussia Dortmund taking on Real Madrid in the UCL final tomorrow. What's your scoreline? And numbers to send your messages to are
0809-444-0981. That's for WhatsApp messages. And then, of course, raise down, leave your messages on youtube.com/smooth981FM Lagos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. There we have it. Let's race down now to PK under investigation. Former Barcelona and Manchester United defender Gerald Piqué has been placed under official investigation by a court in Spain over his alleged involvement in a deal which saw the Spanish Super Cup move to Saudi Arabia.
First of all, I want to say, I did not, Piqué is living the exact life I thought he would live. From when he was a footballer, I knew he was going to go into business administration. That's it. And so him being involved in all these tournaments, remember, he was one of those that brought over the Davis Cup. I mean, they killed it, but he still went there. He's also creating a league now that will be making money from digital media. So traditional TV will not stop him from making money. He's going to be making millions from digital media. So that's a total different kettle of fish. He has that business acumen. The problem is, does he have the legalities to back up the business acumen? And that's where the problem is. Because he, like everybody, has recognized that Saudi Arabia has money to throw around. And he also wants his piece of the pie. So the story is that the deal that got Spanish Super Cup being played in Saudi Arabia was not exactly an over the table deal. So it's not necessarily that Spanish Cup being played in Saudi Arabia is wrong. It's that the deal may not have been all corners may not have been legal. And he was part of the people that brokered that deal. My goodness, Gerard Piqué, he makes me proud and ashamed at the same time. I don't know how to say it. Two sides of the same coin. But yeah, he's the guy that is locating where the money is moving around in football, and he's getting his, fingers into it, his hands in the cookie jar. That's all I can say. So he's officially now, he's under investigation. Let's see if he can defend himself and how he comes out of it. But I'm saying, as he's under official investigation in the Spanish Cup, Bobo started a new league that is making him millions. So either way, when you look at it, this guy, I think he kind of, maybe that's why he will have expensive lawyers. I know how it is. If you start making money, lawyers will also start making money. Let's spread the money around. So I guess his lawyers will handle that deal. But yeah, that's where Gerard Piqué is right now in the business world.
It looks like Gerard Piqué has got good nose to sniff out money wherever it
is.
Yes.
We'll give it to him. He has a good nose. So if you see Gerard Piqué moving in that direction, move there. That's where the money is.
I just wonder if maybe Shakira too might be moving in that direction, even though they're exes now anyway.
No.
Now to someone else who's moved away now in a particular direction. Would it be money? Vision Pink, a company, says Bayern Munich already feels like home after being unveiled as the manager of the German Bundesliga club at 38.
I think what it is that managers feel at home anyway. There was something one Formula One driver said, Jenson Button said, the beauty of being a Formula One driver is the ability to sleep anywhere, because they can sleep in one country and wake up in the next country and they have to perform. So their biggest ability is that they can sleep anywhere. He said, in fact, if you leave me now, I can lie down here. And he was he was in front of a garage. He was like, I can lie down here and I can sleep. And I think that's what managers do because of the way managers move around. They're like, they're in a revolving door. Fired today, hired tomorrow. Think about it. Just a few days ago, Vice Company was relegated with Burnley. Today, he's sitting in one of the best clubs in the world as manager. I've not seen that kind of thing before, where you failed WAEC and you got into Harvard.
Fine handwriting. It's got fine handwriting.
It's the fine handwriting. It's the fine handwriting that got me to Harvard. All right, so that's where he is right now, and I understand when he says he feels at home, because the way the Karl-Heinz Rummenigge chased after him, you'd think that he was a Jose Mourinho 2005 reincarnate. That's what you think he is. You will not even remember that he was relegated just a few weeks ago. So I'm glad he's feeling at home, because like I said, the way it's looking is like the Uli Hoeneßes, the Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, the owners of Bayern Munich, the board of Bayern Munich, the tradition of Bayern Munich is backing him. But he will know whether he's really home if after the first month he hasn't delivered results. And in Bayern Munich, you don't deliver results by just winning matches. You deliver results by playing beautifully, dominating each match, and then winning the match. So it's a three-pronged attack. You can't just come and win matches. They will kick you out.
Lesson from this one for me is like, it looks like relegation do not really damage careers. They embellish your CVs. If
you will soon open church. You soon open church.
Shall we go now to Ayub El Kabi, struck 4 minutes from the end of extra time as Olympiacos beat Fiorentina in the Europa Conference League final to become the first Greek club side to win a European trophy.
I would say one of the most boring finals I've ever seen. But at the end of the day, there had to be a winner. And another African, remember in the Europa, it was Ademola Lookman that dominated. This time in the Conference League, it was an African that came up with the deciding moment in the final to win that trophy for Olympiacos. So congratulations to them. On that note, let's just run through our messages because we are really out of time.
Let's go. Messages. We find Tayo here waiting from Aja. This Visan company to Bayern Munich transfer is giving favor over labor vibes. You see it?
I'm telling you.
I want Dortmund to win UEFA, but Real Madrid will take it. They have not lost their matches so far. I guess Valverde will get his wish of winning it to match his jersey number. As for Gerard Piqué being officially investigated, shouldn't be a surprise. That guy was dodgy as a player. Myself and Shakira will be there for the outcome. And then comes AY from Oniru saying, Borussia Dortmund to win the UEFA Champions League final tomorrow, inshallah. And the evil empire, Real Madrid, CF must crumble. And then comes this Michael from Ojedu saying, I wish and pray Borussia Dortmund wins it tomorrow against Madrid. 2-1 scoreline. Dortmund really deserves it. They have tried. Ibukun says, so Tega, Iga should be the mentality coach for Arsenal. I think the 3-hour match also took a toll on Naomi Osaka. Madrid also has great team spirit, great players, and like you said, they can use different tactics to win. I see Real Madrid winning the final 3-1. Now, what for coaching jobs? See Sean Dyche took Burnley to Europe and nothing but company playing fine football and getting Burnley relegated gets the Bayern job. If from K2 sent in that one. And that's all we can take. Emma from Lagos, I see your message. Grateful, we'll see your message. And Sequence,
Oh,
see your
we
message.
see your messages. So thank you so much for sending in those messages. Thank you for tuning into Sport 98.1 FM. And let's leave this weekend with Omatseye's Aspire to Maguire that he's been giving us. Have a great one. I'll see you on Monday.